Today's adventure brings me to the new Broadway Centrum. This place was a significant pillar in the Philippine television history, and as of the recording of this, March 1, 2023, I'm just going to pay homage and reminisce about this remarkable establishment. Hey everybody, it's Aaron James here, and thank you for tuning back in to another episode. The vehicles are very loud. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of AJ's Guide to Awesomeness and Beyond. Today I am here at Broadway Centrum. Just a quick update and just a final visit to what was once a significant cornerstone for Philippine television history. For GMA-7 to be specific, I just have a quick tour updates. I haven't been in this establishment since I think 2010, the last time I visited this place. This also has some a special place in my heart, and I'm just gonna share some memories that I have here and touch a bit of the history of this establishment. So go ahead and grab your curiosity paddles as you embark with me in another ocean of adventure. Now Eat Bulaga, of course, Tape Productions now moved to their new home studios called APT Studios, located along Marcos Highway in Cainta, which is actually nearer from my home. They already moved there in 2018. Just a personal goodbye for me to this place. And this is now owned, if I'm not mistaken, by East Empire Holdings, a subsidiary of Megalands. As before, there's still that's Bigoli. Save More is still one of their tenants. Save More Supermarket. And now there is a Bigoli stand. Also, I would like to mention that that area over there used to be BDO. However, as you can see, BDO already left and moved to another area, still along Aurora Boulevard. They used to occupy this spot before. Tokyo, just outside. They also have like an eating area, and we have Mercury Drugstore. And now I'm about to make my way inside. And I finally made it inside. So on the right side they have the national ID and e-fil ID if you want to register. Available here at Broadway Centrum. There's a little kiosk here that sells shirts and other cool stuff, bags, toys. But potato corner, but it is non-operational. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, area is the most I would say the gem, used to be the gem of this place, because this was used to be the studio, television studios of, okay, I can still, I'll go top. Yes, this was once where Eat Bulaga, the studio of Eat Bulaga, the east side, and the west side over there for GMA-7. Now, if you were a Filipino back in the 80s to the 90s to the early 2000s, and you were fond of watching television, back then streaming and cable TV were not yet rampant in the Philippine society. You were probably just stuck with a black and white television or a colored one that has 13 channels to choose from, and you probably were glued watching some of the popular shows that has been a part of the Philippine pop culture and history, as I might say. There are quite a lot of shows that were taped over there at the west side. Talking about during the 90s to the early 2000s, when GMA-7 was still renting that side for some of their shows, some shows for QTV like iRobot, for a short period of time, Starstruck, Partners, Mel and J, Wami, Push Your Luck, This Is It, and the list goes on and on. You can just Google it. But the most famous shows, without a doubt, that were taped here or broadcasted live on national TV were the GMA Super Show with Herman Moreno. That's Entertainment, Lunch Date, and SST, Salo Salo Together. Yes. And here that's the west side. So now here, I'm standing at the east side. Is without a doubt the longest running and the most popular noontime show here in the Philippines, Eat Bulaga. This was once their home studio, but it is now closed, erased from existence.
I forgot to mention in my intro that TV5 also occupied the West Side Studios from 2010 to 2018. Some of the programs that they taped there were Face to Face with Ami Perez, Artista Academy, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, hosted by Vic Soto, and Talentadong Pinoy. Eventually, in 2018, TV5 moved to their new home studios in Mandaluyong City.
There used to be an Eat Bulaga logo here. Eat Bulaga, I watched several live shows here and taped episodes. I even was a contestant in one of their Halloween special episodes. Please keep the door closed. Back in 2009 or 2010, Eat Bulaga held a pumpkin carving contest. It was October 31, I believe, or October 30. It was a weekday. I used to be a big fan of the show, but not anymore. So I participated. I bought a huge pumpkin from the market. And then the following day, I queued up for the contestants. And we did our contest in this area. There used to be like a fence here, not a fence, I think railings over here, but it's no longer in existence. I did not win in that contest, but it was held here. I have a photo to show. Found this one. Now, during that time, 2010 or 2009, it was probably 2010, smartphones were not yet rampant in the Philippine society. YouTube was not yet popular back then. Documenting and, picture taking using your phone was not yet also popular. So this was taken using my SLR camera, the big camera where you put film and then have it develop. This was the only shot that I took back then. These were the contestants. Now, I was the one taking the photo. During those years, smartphones were just more of a luxury and people really didn't, care about it. What's important was that they could call and SMS their friends, family, relatives. But technology has changed. It was only until 2012 that I bought my first ever smartphone. Xperia T for the James Bond movie. During this time, believe it or not, I was just using my Nokia 3310. Yes, Nokia 3310. But nowadays, 2023, fast forward to 2023, smartphone is now a necessity. You can already do everything, business-wise, school-wise, anything, career-wise, you need a smartphone. So this is the Kalabasa Pumpkin Contest. Oh, I searched YouTube. Unfortunately, there's no video of it. As in, YouTube was not yet popular back then, or even high-end camera video smartphones that recorded in high resolutions. It's not yet those were not yet in existence back in 2010. I also would like to show some, again, taken using my SLR camera, some of the inside of the studio. Of course, I cannot enter. This was the behind the scenes of It Bulaga inside the East Side studio. You can see the camera, some of the hosts, the performers, the television sets that they have. This was shot, I shot this during the Bulagaan segment. You can see some Terry Honor, Wally Bayola, Sir Francis Magalona when he was still alive, Joey De Leon, Vic Soto, Sugar Mercado, Shara Soto, Paolo Ballesteros, and laying down on the floor is Jose Manalo. Those were the days. I now move to the west side of the studio, of Broadway studio. The west side was where several GMA shows were filmed, were taped. And back in the early 2000s as well, aside from doing animation, I was also like busy attending some casting calls for indie films, extras for TV. But anyway, during that time, early 2000, one of our family friend who used to work for my father when my father still had the courier service company was the guardian of one of GMA-7's artists, Samantha Bumatay. So she invited me one time when I mentioned that I was also like auditioning sometimes to visit her at the taping of iRobot, the show of Samantha Bumatay and Mr. Ogie Alcacid, and it was held here. Yeah, the west side. Yep, that was me and Sam, one of the artists of GMA-7, actresses. This was shot early in 2000. Of course, Sam now is a grown-up lady. And this is me as well. You see, there was a poster of sorts of Walang Tulugan with the Master Showman. As you can see, GMA-7. That was in this wall. Yep. Oh wait, let me match that up. Where was this? I think it was here. Yeah. Used to be in this wall. Memories of the past. The west side. GMA, of course, already have their own television complex. They expanded, they acquired some lands and built their state-of-the-art studio there, taping facility. It's now empty. Just one last visit. The west side, former studio of GMA-7. Now, as I was doing my research about Broadway Centrum, I would like to make a shout out to a blogger, B, as in Bravo, not vlogger. Blogger, in his site lakansining.wordpress.com. He mentioned that Broadway Centrum opened back in the 1970s and it was a movie theater complex. So I could imagine this was a movie theater and the west side as well. And he was able to watch Grease here. That would be 1979, starring John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. And it just makes sense that that this was a movie complex back in the 70s. People would line up here in the stairs, buy their tickets there, and watch a movie inside. Now the east side, It Bulaga's former home studio, has a 400 seating capacity. While the west side, GMA-7's former television studio, had about 300 seating capacity. This area used to be a Mang Inasal, I remember correctly, Mang Inasal, but They already shut down a few years back. Show My King, but non-operational. I'm walking outside to explore more of the area. Back in the 80s, 90s, and 2000, social media was still not obviously a thing. So I could imagine the fans and audiences of various Filipino actors, actresses, performers would frequent this establishment to see their favorite celebrities, grab a photo, or take their autographs as well. Yep, all empty. Now I'm not gonna enter this. It's just fire exit. Ooh, it's getting dark. What is this? This used to be a shop of sorts. They're selling some Christmas goodies. Wish you an abundant, blessed holiday season. Oh, this one is already blocked off. But this was also an exit. Oh, the tiles are falling apart. You can no longer exit there. Now, during the time of Eat Bulaga, when they still have some, well, up now they still have some live audiences. Okay, sorry, wrong grammar, wrong idea, wrong sentence. So back then, when this was still used by Eat Bulaga, this area over here, over there, is where audiences would usually have a sleepover or overnight. Yep, that area, this area, where they would lay some newspapers, cardboard boxes, or mats, whatever, so that the following day, when the queue line opens for Eat Bulaga, they would be the first in line. This is where they slept, most of the audiences, those hardcore Eat Bulaga fans. That is also where the stars of the show, the hosts, exited and entered. It's in that area. Now there used to be a restaurant over there, Broadway Stars something, I already forgot, but now it's just a parking lot. Nothing more. Now before I end this video, I would like to show an important memorabilia that I have. Back in 2009, Pinoy Parazzi released a special edition article, special edition of Eat Bulaga. They made an article about Eat Bulaga, the history, the hosts, etc., etc. And I actually was able to get it signed back then by Senator Tito Soto. It was in this area where I caught him and signed the autograph. But for Vic Soto and Joey De Leon, it's really hard to approach them. They are big Filipino celebrities and they're always surrounded by bodyguards. They would quickly go from one point to another. But I was really lucky to catch Senator Tito Soto and ask for his autograph. He granted my request. One of the memories. But I have no regrets if ever I'll already be moving to Canada this July and I would not be able to get the autographs of Vic Soto and Joey De Leon. No regrets. Understandable. But I'll give this souvenir of Eat Bulaga here at Broadway Centrum. Okay, I'm back here now at the east side studio, formerly Eat Bulaga Studios. Now before I end the video, I would just like to say that change is really inevitable to all of us. Even mega corporations like Tape Productions, GMA-7, those gigantic corporations, they, over the years, they expand. And most of the time, change is really heavily favored than the sentimental value of an establishment or even an object like an old car or cell phone that you would like to dispose because you would like to buy something new or for whatever reason. But I'm really sure that Broadway Centrum, East Side and West Side Studios television complex have a special place in the hearts of the hosts, the actors, the actresses, the performers that spend their lives, their days here, giving joy to the audiences, even the audiences themselves, who have lined up every day, every single day, slept here overnight. Those who won contests here. This place will always have a special place in their hearts. And that's gonna do it for today. If you're new here, please subscribe. If you like this particular episode, please give it as well a big thumbs up. And I'll see you again in another episode of AJ's Guide to Awesomeness and Beyond. Another time, another place.